Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. Let me just remind you, I've not said this in a while, we've got apps, and I want you to know about our apps. We have an app for your Android device, for your Apple device. Just go to your respective store, and they're free. You'll have it at your fingertips then, Daily Dose Radio on your device. And also Clamor. I really love Clamor, and I'm so happy to be a broadcaster on that platform. So today we're looking at verse 48, and we're going to see love mentioned again. This is the second use of the word, and of course this is our theme word, the word love. And he says, and let me read for you my translation. So I will lift up my hands to your commandments which I love, and I will meditate in your statutes. How beautiful. Love's our theme word, and we said all week long we've been following these little stepping stones leading up to love. Trust, waiting, seeking, delighting. And then yesterday we had, then I will delight in your commandments, which I love. Delight, by the way, is another one of those theme words that we've seen over and over again in Psalm 119. Actually, this is the third occurrence, so we've seen it 3 times. We saw it once in verse 16, once in verse 24, and the third time here to delight in verse 47. And we're going to keep watch on this because of the word delight in connection to keeping and studying and meditating and loving. It just continues to reoccur. And how wonderful, when God sets us in a large place, of course we're going to delight in His Word and in His commandments and His precepts, His testimonies, His ordinances, all of that is going to be the thing, the law is going to be the thing that we delight in. And today in verse 48, he says, I will lift up my hands to your commandments which I love and will meditate in your statutes. Now the word meditate here is also another one of those theme words in Psalm 119. I was going to say in the book of the Psalms, but in Psalm 119. It happens to be a thread that kind of, falls all the way through the tapestry of 119. We have actually the middle occurrence right here. So it's in verse 15, 23, 27, 48, 78, 97, and 99. At least those are the ones that I could find in a brief survey of Psalm 119. So this is the fourth occurrence. It's right smack in the middle of all the occurrences of this word in Psalm 119. And it's beautiful because the word meditate, it makes us stop. This is not the on-the-go word. This is not the app word. This is not the instant word. This is the word that means I'm stopping, I'm thinking, I'm focusing all of my attention, all of my mental energy, all of my heart's resources on your statutes. So meditation is very important to the psalmist, especially in Psalm 119. It's almost like he's saying to us, to love these commandments, which I love. The commandments are to be loved by meditation. So we have to love them into our heart by thinking on them, by repeating them, by speaking them. He says, I'm going to speak to kings, I'm going to answer the despisers. Well, where does that spring from? Where do those answers come from? Well, they come from the Word. We're speaking the Word. We're letting the lion loose. But the lion must be groomed, and it must be groomed in our heart, and that happens as we meditate on the Word of God. So letting it in our hearts and loving it into our hearts happens as we meditate. Meditation is almost like the gateway, really, to the strength of the Word of God in our life. You can read it, and you can read it, and you can read it, but you're missing something if you don't meditate on it, consider it, ruminate on it, think about it, let it have an effect on your mind. That's the wonderful thing about the Word of God. It has such a great effect on us. Remember what Jesus said. Always remember what Jesus said to the devil in the temptation. He said, and I quote, "Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." So it is life for us. meditate on His Word today. I hope you'll join me next time on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.